Well, you got to understand that making money will change as well in the future. The currency of the future starts to change because when you have access to everything for free, why do you need money?
But surely you don't set up a business to provide a free service.
Well, even the concept of business will start to change. My name is John Sanei. I am an author, a lecturer, a speaker, and a strategist. I move around the world helping organizations and governments prepare for the future.
Tell us about what your topic was today and a synopsis of what you spoke about.
The topic today is called transformation. It's this concept that we're moving at hyper pace towards the most unknown future any of us have experienced. In the talk, I took the audience through this concept of the cycles that are ending around the world, where we have 3 major cycles ending at the same time. This is what's causing so much chaos in the world and so much implosion in the world. And then I described what we actually need to do with our businesses and how we prepare ourselves for this future while keeping the lights on of the old world. It's not very sort of feasible to let go of the old world and only prepare for the future. So ultimately, what I want most organizations to think about is building today teams and tomorrow teams. Today teams to keep the lights on and make things that are currently relevant, more efficient, but also to build tomorrow teams that can build new types of businesses for the future.
Let's briefly touch on the 3 cycles.
So the first cycle that's ending called the fourth turning, which is an 80-year cycle that's ending. And this ended last time in 1946 with World War II. And we've got 6 more years of this 80-year cycle to happen. And this cycle is all about fascism, political divide, job losses, and financial crisis and war, which is kind of where we are today. The second cycle is moving from fascism, communism, liberalism to technologism. And this is causing a lot of stress because at the heart of technologism, humans are not the future of the story. And the third one is us moving from agricultural to industrial to quantum. And we are moving from industrial to quantum, which makes the rules of how we add value to the world change dramatically. So you have 3 cycles all ending at the same time, causing so much implosion in the structures that we once trusted, as well as us as human beings having to evolve at an incredible pace. And this is really what's causing anxiousness and stress around the world.
Now, you spoke on a very important topic, which is the role of technology in making everything commoditized. We're talking about products and services. Please tell us exactly what you are referring to.
So technology has this incredible way of making anything it touches free. Everything technology touches, from communication to photos to music to entertainment, has become free. And this is going to extrapolate further into communication, power, and transportation. And it gets us to understand that the structures that held up capitalism for the last 200 years are imploding. When we have this commoditization of services and products around us, and then add to that, we have a commoditization of people's education. So around the world, we have a surplus society of clever people working with similar companies, creating similar products and similar services for the world. And so everything seems to be commoditized because of the ubiquitous access to information. And so we have to now step out of this commoditized world and to start to follow our uniqueness, our own creativity and fascination that makes us unique, which is the currency of the future. So right now, and for the last 200 years, fitting in gave you the sort of kudos. Tomorrow, fitting out will become the currency of the future.
Now, many people may not believe what you spoke about when you said that in the next 5 years, energy will become free because of this very commoditization of services and products. Just tell us exactly what you meant. And from a practical perspective, how could energy possibly be free when we're having such a huge crisis in Africa?
Remember that it was impossible for us to think about free communication 10 years ago. It was impossible for us to think about free photos 20 years ago. It was impossible for us to think about free entertainment 5 years ago. And this list goes on. And already we use WhatsApp. What does WhatsApp cost you? Nothing. But you could never even imagine free when Vodacom was charging us 3,000 Rand a month for our cell phone contracts. So you must apply the same ideology here, is that because it isn't obvious from this perspective, doesn't mean it's impossible. It just means that we don't understand how it could roll out. But there's many companies around the world that are creating nuclear fusion cylinders that are now going to be these mini nuclear fusion cylinders that are going to be put into our homes. And this nuclear fusion system takes up the product inside the fusion up to 100 million degrees in a stable way. And because of this process, it creates endless energy for us to have access to. And Zap Energy is the company that I used as an example. They just raised third round funding for $160 million, and they roll out these containers called Zap Energy containers over the next 5 years. And all of a sudden, we'll start having access to free, endless energy that all of us will have in our garages.
So for a person such as myself who loves to really understand how business make their profit and their revenues, when we talk of free music, you spoke about free education and just now free power. How then do those companies actually make their money?
Well, you got to understand that making money will change as well in the future. The currency of the future starts to change because when you have access to everything for free, why do you need money?
But surely you don't set up a business to provide a free service.
Well, even the concept of business will start to change because when everything's accessible for free, it won't be about hoarding money. It will be about expressing creativity. Your currency will become creativity, not absolute outcomes. Your question is very representative of the Industrial Revolution, which is an addiction to certainty. I need an absolute certainty of how it's going to work in the future. The answer is nobody actually knows how it's going to work in the future. But what we do know is that the rules of the past don't apply to the future. So what we have to realize is that capitalism itself is imploding because of everything starting to become free. So in order for us to add value in the new world, it's about us becoming creative, becoming relaxed, becoming imaginative, to be able to connect the dots we otherwise couldn't have seen. So what we have to do is only apply ourselves into that realm and allow that to figure out the future. Even the question is addicted to certainty. Over the next 6 years, what we must expect of the world around us is implosion, is destruction. All the old structures need to implode for new structures to be birthed. We wouldn't have had the space race, the United Nations, the dollar exchange, TVs, any of these new inventions that only happened post-World War II. And so we must realize that winter is necessary to happen before spring can arrive. And so for the next 6 years, we're in winter. And so we need to build up the resilience, the adaptability, and the emotional quotient to deal with so much change. So don't seek comfort over the next 6 years, seek discomfort. And this is what we need to all start to apply to ourselves, our families, and to our businesses.